Tonight is Lunar New Year's Eve. Many people remember their ancestors. Many people remember their parents. But only a few remember one name, someone who helped reshape our shared space in Indonesia. Gus Dur. I'm not asking you to idolize anyone. I'm only asking you to be honest. If you're enjoying a more open life in Indonesia today, there are human footprints behind it. And tonight we say one sentence.
谢谢
Gus Dur.
Harus dengan humor.
Juga besar.
Kalau terusakan panci elek.
Many people know Gus Dur from his humor, from controversies, from politics. But there is a side that often disappears from social media feeds. Gus Dur was the type of leader who used courage without violence. He chose the peaceful path when others pushed for a hardline approach. He relied on empathy, dialogue, and dismantling discrimination through policy. So, tonight we discuss three things: the family background and education that shaped his thinking, the career that matured him socially, and why he chose Ahimsa, nonviolence, when conflicts intensified. We need to be honest about history. For a long period, Chinese cultural expression was restricted in public spaces in Indonesia. During the New Order era, regulations limited Chinese religion, beliefs, and customs. When Abdurrahman Wahid, Gus Dur, became president, he revoked those restrictions through Presidential Decree No. 6 of 2000, which annulled Instruction No. 14 of 1967. The meaning was clear. Chinese religious practices, beliefs, and traditions could be carried out without special permits as before. Lunar New Year later became a national holiday through Presidential Decree No. 19 of 2002. But the main door, freedom, had already been opened earlier. That is why, in many temples and homes, people mention Gus Dur with respect, not because of identity, but because of actions. Gus Dur was born into a prominent family deeply rooted in Islamic boarding school traditions and Nahdlatul Ulama. His grandfather, XIE Haji Hashim Mash'ari, founded Nahdlatul Ulama. His maternal grandfather, XIE Haji Bisri Shamsuri, was also an important Nahdlatul Ulama figure. From a young age, he lived in a strong religious environment, but he did not grow into a narrow-minded person. Why? Because he read widely and interacted widely. His father encouraged him to read non-Muslim literature, newspapers, and magazines to broaden his perspective. His educational path was also diverse. He studied in Islamic boarding schools. Then he had the opportunity to study abroad. He attended Al-Azhar University in Cairo and later continued in Baghdad. There, he encountered a wide range of ideas, films, literature, and public debates far beyond classroom walls. This matters. A universal mindset rarely emerges from a single environment. It comes from a combination of strong traditional roots, exposure to diverse ideas, the courage to remain humane amid differences.
Sebab penakut bangsa ini.
Kenapa Anda bilang penakut?
Bangsa ini penakut karena tidak mau bertindak kepada yang bersalah. Saya itu memaafkan semua sampai istri saya marah kepada saya.
I'm not so gullible as not to listen to them. Well, I never entertain that idea. I know precisely that the parliament will fail.
Before becoming president, Gus Dur was known as a public intellectual. He wrote, he built networks, he worked within social spaces. He was active in Nahdlatul Ulama and encouraged it to become more open and democratic. He also received international recognition for interfaith work, including the Ramon Magsaysay Award in 1993 for efforts to build interreligious relations in a democratic society. Why is this relevant? Because leaders who are accustomed to dialogue are usually less tempted by violent solutions. They understand one thing: violence may be fast, but it leaves long scars, and long scars become future conflicts. As president, Gus Dur took concrete steps. He removed restrictions on Chinese religious, cultural, and traditional expression through Presidential Decree No. 6 of 2000. This restored breathing space for many Chinese Indonesians to worship and express their culture openly. Later, Lunar New Year was recognized as a national holiday through Presidential Decree No. 19 of 2002, and many sources note that the policy continued in subsequent years. A Lunar New Year night like today carries additional meaning: a sense of safety to celebrate, a sense of normalcy in public expression. For some people, it looks ordinary. For those who lived through the restriction era, it was a major transformation. Now comes the part often forgotten. Gus Dur did not only talk about tolerance, he also applied peaceful approaches when the state faced conflict. Some figures within policy circles described him as building a reconciliation model that combined approaches inspired by Nelson Mandela and the non-violence philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi to address conflicts in Papua and Aceh. The core principle: he did not begin with the sentence, "The enemy must be destroyed." He began with the question, "What is the root of the wound?" He chose dialogue. He chose reconciliation. He chose de-escalation. Not because he was weak, but because he understood the cost of violence. Expensive in lives, expensive in trauma, expensive in the future. Ahimsa is not a slogan. It is a daily decision. If you are a leader, it appears in policy. If you are an ordinary citizen, it appears in how you resolve conflicts at home, at work, and online. Let me repeat. This is not an invitation to build a cult. It is an exercise in gratitude. A virtuous person remembers those who contributed, not only ancestors and parents, but also public figures who create a more humane living space. If you can celebrate Lunar New Year more openly today, if you can see lion dances, lanterns, and cultural activities without fear, if you can have neighbors of different faiths and still feel united as one Indonesia, then it is natural to say thank you. Now I invite you to do 3 simple things. First, send one message to your parents or family tonight. Say thank you. Keep it short. Second, if you have friends of different faiths, do one small action that makes them feel safe. For example, listen without interrupting. Third, keep one nonviolent habit for the next 7 days. Do not respond to comments with anger, respond with clarity, or remain silent. If you agree that gratitude should stay alive, write in the comments,
谢谢
Gus Dur.
心中